The bigger you are, the harder you fall. Cyberpunk 2077 is huge, and with its fall, it made an earthquake. I'm torn apart with Cyberpunk 2077, same as V is torn apart with Silverhand. On one side, I love it, on the other side, I hate it. I never had big hopes for this game, so I was never disappointed with it like 90% of people that expected next Witcher 3 or new GTA game. Witcher 3 happens only once in 10 years. The first 2 hours of my walkthrough vids, I said, and few of you will also remember that, I said, and I quote, I believe that CD Projekt Red will lose 90% of players because this game is overwhelming and rushed. Voila, it happened tomorrow. Bad reviews and hate all around the world. I didn't pay attention at all, heard all of that info from my audience on live streams. I just ignored and kept playing the game for days. And with a clear mind, I can say next thing about Cyberpunk. It's always ups and downs with this game, from start to finish. Love narration, journey, and story. I hate all endings, they're confusing, bad, all of them straight bad, depressing, and sad, unfinished, and rushed. Love skills and tricks in the game, hate the brain dead AI. I love rock music, hate techno and rap force music in combat. Love the world and how it looks like, hate how it's executed. Love the looks and designs of cars and bikes. I hate how it feels like driving them. Love combat, hate how enemies spawn around you from thin air. Love the weapons, hate the inventory and 10,000 useless consumables in it. And so on and so on. I can go for days, but let's just go to sections and rate Cyberpunk 2077 properly. First section is the story. Story of Cyberpunk, the city of Iraq, aka the city that never sleeps. That's the lore of the Night City, in short. Well, we got only 4 rock songs and full bunch of crap rap and techno songs. City that never sleeps feels like city that sleeps during nights. Weird, but that's how it is. It's the city of slumber. That aside, story is about becoming a legend in the Night City, or if you go other way, story is to destroy corporations and their bad influence on humanity. You're playing as V and Johnny Silverhand, that's acted by Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves nailed it as a crazy terrorist rock star. He still sounds and feels like Keanu Reeves, nothing we can do about that. Rock stars are 10 times crazier in real life. Just look at 80s, 1980s, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Silverhand is for sure not Axl Rose or Ozzy, Tommy Lee, Vince, Jagger. Silverhand is Keanu Reeves, okay? I seen him as Neo on drugs. That aside, he did extremely well. I don't wanna spoil much. It ain't that much about the main story at all. It's about the journey, the things you fight against. Corporation, viruses, media lies, brainwash politicians, politics, air pollution, corruption, maniacs, killers, cybernetics, and all the things we are fighting against in the real world are there in Cyberpunk. And it feels great, but a bit depressing. We got that shit in real life, and now we got same topics in a game with add-on of cybernetics only. 3 different starts of the game with 6 different endings in total. All of the endings felt rushed, sad, depressing, and bad. There is no good ending, by the way. No matter what you pick, you'll be able to see 90% of the game's story. Just make sure to do all side and main objectives. Story is probably the strongest section in Cyberpunk. It's depressing, aggressive, real, to the point, sad, funny, a mixed bag of emotions with great acting. 10 out of 10. Next section, game bugs and optimization. I wish I could just skip this topic. I'm fully aware that game is unplayable and broken on consoles. I'll speak about PC. Game is plagued with bugs, glitches, stutters. Loading times, they're quite fast for a new game, or better to say they're extremely fast on SSD. Optimization is also broken. Played on ultra settings, frames were from 30 to 60 plus in a matter of seconds, going up and down non-stop. In other words, this game is unstable, a ticking bomb waiting to explode. Had only 2 crashes though, and the game works at least 40% better when I'm not streaming it on ultra settings with high quality video transmission. I'll be honest here, it's just bad to the bone. They needed at least 2 more years to fix all issues. 2 out of 10 for performance and bugs. Next section, game time. It took me 75 hours to finish all side quests and main quests and see all endings the game has to offer. To finish all gigs, fistfights, races, and world events, you'll probably need at least 120 hours for 100% completion rate. It's a huge game with solid replay value, still a lot smaller than Witcher 3 for sure, not to mention the entire franchise. But it just came out. Who knows what DLCs and future patches might bring, okay? 10 out of 10 because it's still a very long game with a solid replay value. Game difficulty. I played on hardest difficulty available and it was easy. The difficulty is called very hard and it felt like very easy. I don't even want to think about the easiest difficulty at all. Enemies, they're just bullet sponges on harder difficulties. They're completely brain dead, and when I say brain dead, I mean Metro Exodus brain dead type of AI. Okay, a bit better than Metro Exodus AI, but still a disaster. There were only 2 bosses that gave me some trouble, and that's about it. Enemies are blind, deaf, stupid, brain dead piles of walking cybernetic implants. Moronic ragdolls that I swallowed only to see the story and how it will end. Now don't let me start about traffic, cars, and world encounters. Those are even more brain dead than actual enemies in the game. I'll just skip, chill out, and rate it without talking about it. 3 out of 10. Maps and graphics. Even on ultra settings, Cyberpunk feels old, like it's at least 5 years old game. Graphics are really nothing special. Face animations are great, but man, this game has issues of some rough edges and weird shadow mechanics. Good luck with your frames in dense populated areas or during rain, by the way. Strange palette of colors is chosen for Cyberpunk, some weird mix of darker red, purple, and yellow. It's pain for eyes, huge pain. Map is great, crystal clear, simple, easy to navigate, but with annoying red color as a dominant one. I don't know if someone in CD Projekt Red knows that overwhelming red color is harmful for your eyes and brain. Red color, my dear CD Projekt Red, is the color of anger, war, death, blood, and aggression. It's not the color you want to look at while reading messages and clearing out your inventory. Learn some psychology before making a decision like that. That aside now, UI is phenomenal. Easy to navigate, detective mod site is your best friend, but Batman Arkham series still has the better one. Character models, they're done very well. I love to watch the Night City from afar. It feels somewhat calming and good. 7 out of 10. Gameplay. When enemies are brain dead in games, the fun factor drops, but not in the case of Cyberpunk, seems like. So what do you do in the game? Well, let's say it like this. It's 40% Deus Ex, 20% Borderlands and Bioshock, 20% GTA, and 20% Fallout in Cyberpunk setting. You get the point now. Hack, run, slash, dash, drive, kill, assassinate, extract a package, deliver goods, help those in need, and so on. Sneaking is broken. Not because it's bad in mechanics, but because AI is brain dead and blind. Not to mention that you can only grapple enemies, but cannot silently kill them with blades or blunt weapons. Weird and stupid decision there. I want to chop my enemies from stealth, not hug them and break their necks. Do you know how many necks I broke during my playthrough? At least 10,000. Come on, please make some backstabs available. Shooting. It's broken because most of the weapons can damage enemies while in cover, through 10 walls, cars, hell, even through the entire buildings. What on earth is that bullshit? Hacking is broken because you can hack every single enemy in the game, including main bosses. Hacking terminals is fun and it's refreshing, a bit repetitive after 30 hours, but that's life. Driving is broken and it feels paper-like. Controls are off. Almost every vehicle feels the same, including motorbikes. Driving feels like you're floating on ground. When I better think about it, every aspect of gameplay is broken and beyond repair. So what's cool then? Immersion. CD Projekt Red knows how to do it. At least that's good. Or better to say that's great. Silverhand has all to do with the immersion and how he reacts on every move you make, or better to say, on every move V makes. If we ignore gigs and contracts, side missions and main quests were always innovative and fresh. Shooting felt good, all weapons have great reload animations, moving around feels smooth, and this is probably the first person shooter ever where stamina bar lasts far longer than average 10 seconds worldwide when running. Thank God for that, I say. I'm divided, so divided is the score here also. 5 out of 10 for gameplay. Leveling and itemization as the next section. I was speaking for 5 years straight about the main problem of CD Projekt Red games, or better to say Witcher. It's inventory. Overwhelming crap inventory in Witcher 3 just received an upgrade in Cyberpunk. It's more disgusting than ever. What a bloody upgrade it is. 1 million chips, mods, consumables, grenades, messages, cards, and weapons in all colors with same names that you'll use in 99% of cases to sell for Eurodollars. Game currency, by the way, that you won't need for anything at all, since you'll be able to finish this game naked on a hardest difficulty without snapping necks from stealth, considering how stupid the enemies are. Atrocious, overwhelming inventory system. More and bigger doesn't always mean better. Cyberpunk is pure example of that in every aspect, not only inventory. Speaking about every aspect, now we have leveling. Maximum street cred, reputation, is easy to acquire, and after that you lose sense of progression to finish all gigs and side quests. Simple, no reward for doing so equals no need to do it. In order to max one skill, you'll need to sacrifice all others to do so. It's bollocks, it's crap. I love how skill tree looks like, but it's completely broken. You can't max it out. It's out of balance. Progression feels late and you'll never reach your maximum potential in the game. It's not like you'll need to do it, because frankly you can easily finish the game without investing a single attribute or perk point. That's how broken this game is. There is no balancing at all. As I said in the beginning, every segment of this game makes me love it and hate it at the same time, divided like V's personality with Silverhand. So, divided is the score, 5 out of 10. NPCs and enemies as the next section. Enemies in 90% of cases will be cyberhumans, melee, ranged, and so-called netrunners that will try to hack you and burst your implants. Other 10% are drones, robots, and mechs. That's all there is to it. Now, enemies have different factions they belong to, but their core mechanics, they remain the same. They just switch colors, hairstyles, and outfits. Factions are plenty, from Voodoo Boys, Animals, Sixth Street, and Tiger Claws to Militech and Arasaka Corporation. From bosses, you have few of them on your main quests, very cool main bosses by the way, and 17 cyber psychos that count as mini bosses. That's about it. Not enough in this big open world for sure. This game really lacks bosses and enemies variety. NPCs, on the other hand, they're plenty. All feel important for the story, and all of them will appear in the epilogue with different dialogue options. Depends on your choices throughout the journey, of course. The main problem right now, if we exclude bugs, is the brain dead AI. Good luck of finding a real challenge in the Night City, and I mean it. 8 out of 10. Last section, music and sound. City of Rock and Punk. I repeat, City of Rock. Night City. City that never sleeps. Blah blah blah, yada yada. With only 4 rock songs on the radio. And the rest of gazillion songs are forgettable rap and techno instrumentals that sound like scratching your empty plate with a fork. That's how it sounds like. 90% of music in Cyberpunk. Empty plate with a fork. Now, I loved chipping in Black Dog, A Like Supreme, and of course my personal favorite song in the game, Never Fade Away. Rock version, and for sure not that psychedelic version of it in the credits. Even Never Fade Away was ruined in the end. But all that aside, the best thing that Cyberpunk gave us is Never Fade Away along with Keanu Reeves acting. Music is forgettable, not as close as memorable as all Witcher songs, and that's completely normal. Slavic songs are very unique and full with soul, while techno is the opposite. Everything sounds the same and it's soulless. Voice acting, it was supreme. Sound effects, they were absolutely great. 9 out of 10 for music and sound. Now, we got 9 sections with 59 points, and that would be 6.5 out of 10 for Cyberpunk 2077. The most overhyped game in the last 5 years. Once everything is fixed, patched, all DLCs are out, once this game is optimized, and that won't happen soon for sure. Once this game is balanced, AI adjusted, and new game plus mod added, we are probably looking at potential 8.5 out of 10 score. In other words, this can be a great game, but it will never reach that legendary status of Witcher franchise, complete failure on its promises, and that's on a PC where this game actually works. I can't even imagine how it looks like on consoles. I don't know what happened with CD Projekt Red. Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. Cyberpunk is just a pure example of unfinished product. I have a feeling like I was playing 20% of total game here. 20% of the entire game that was meant to be the best game ever created. It's far shorter than Witcher 3. It has fetch quests. Thing that CD Projekt Red never did before. Some quests were even repetitive. Instead of rock and punk music, we got rap and techno. And the irony is, the main protagonist, one of them, is a rock star. A rock star that has techno psychedelia soundtracks while in combat. Give me a break, come on. City that never sleeps is in a full slumber during nights. AI, it's brain dead. Skill tree is unbalanced and unfinished. Driving is a chore. Optimization is also an issue. And I'm not even counting bugs. I excluded bugs. I don't even mention them. I don't want to. You got 1 million videos of bugs on the internet. Police is spawning and teleporting behind players. They got zero chase mechanics. Police is not even brain dead. It's insulting how stupid they are. Cyberpunk became the biggest joke in the history of gaming. Its hilarious bugs and glitches are the most watched videos on the internet in December of 2020. From greatest game in history with Witcher 3 to biggest fail in history with Cyberpunk 2077. That's what CD Projekt Red achieved with this forced release. God damn it, it should have been at least 2 more years in production. Now let's be clear, Keanu Reeves did his part. Main protagonist actor also did his part. NPC'S, story and immersion were a complete success, and they were the only good thing in the game that kept me playing it. But even all of them felt unfinished. The entire game from the start to finish, it feels empty. Not empty, it feels weird. It feels overwhelming with forced auto-generated loot plagued with consumables and 1 million unneeded items, notes and messages. This game, it overwhelms you with crap, in other words, from the start. It keeps throwing shit in your face. It takes forever to loot one simple room, and there are 1 million rooms in a night city. I can't even count how many times I was interrupted during main mission with text messages of stupid gigs for fetch quests and with, hey, buy this van for only 18,000 euro dollars.
Just keep a lookout.
They even managed to break immersion somehow with that. They never tested the game. It was forced, rushed. Not a single gamer played this and pointed out what's wrong to devs. There was zero testing. I'm 100% sure of it. Or testing was done from friends and family of CD Projekt Red, where all of them said how the game is great. That's the only explanation. I don't know what happened. Cyberpunk 2077 also goes by many nicknames, including Cyberbugs, Pornpunk, Dildopunk. There is a bigger variety of dildo types than the actual enemies in this game. Variety of enemies. I swear to God, bigger variety of dildos. The worst thing about Cyberpunk is wasted potential. What could have been legendary game will be remembered as internet meme. Not only the devs decided to cut a lot of content, they also ruined the overall experience like that. There is cut content for Takemura, Jackie, and God knows how many more NPCs and quests in the game. Fail after fail after fail. There is so much things to fix, and good luck to CD Projekt Red with that. It will take years for sure. From balancing, new AI, progression, fixing bugs, optimizing the game while trying to get some life into the Night City. I guess there was an identity crisis with this game from the very start. They didn't know if they wanted to make big open world with fetch quests and level progression, or a story-based RPG, or a GTA-like game, Deus Ex-like game, detective system from Arkham games, looter-shooter from Borderlands, exploration from old Fallouts, or a bit of Psychosis from Bioshock. They didn't know what I want to do. One thing is for sure, you cannot mix all of those games into one. No fucking way. You need at least 5,000 people working on the idea like that one. In the end, we got a mixed bag of everything and nothing was done the right way. Every segment feels mediocre or bad, with huge exception on main story. I was never disappointed on Cyberpunk because I never expected much of it, never watched a single trailer. I refused to watch gameplay. I entered this game clear-minded, not knowing anything about it at all. I didn't have that cloud of broken promises on my mind, so I could objectively give you my opinion now about the game. My final conclusion is that CD Projekt Red should stick with Witcher franchise, that Cyberpunk was a fun game to play, even with all of its flaws, and the million-dollar question is, should you play the game or wait for years for it to be patched? If you don't have anything else to play, for sure, this game offers a lot of hours and fun for 60 bucks. Now, a gamer in me tells you to wait for at least 2 to 3 years before starting Cyberpunk, and by then you'll probably be able to buy it for 15 bucks. I could speak for hours about this game, but it really ain't worth it, cause I know that CD Projekt Red will change a lot of things for the better in the years to come. From mediocre mess in 2020 till 2023, we will have a great Cyberpunk game. But no matter how it turns out to be, it will never come close to the greatness of Witcher, and that's a fact. For the end, I'll compare Witcher franchise with Cyberpunk and put my final verdict on this game. When I finished Witcher 3, I was sad it ended, and I started a new game immediately after my first run. Then in the next 2 months I had four full playthroughs of it. 4. When I finished Cyberpunk, I welcomed its multiple endings with "it's finally over" thought in my mind, like I removed a brick off my shoulder. I uninstalled it, and I might give it a chance in 2 or 3 years from now again. I think this says it all about Cyberpunk and how mediocre it actually is in this state. Man, it's the game of dildos, a lot of cussing and cursing, a rock lore ruined with techno and rap music. I'm all for mature content, but in Cyberpunk, all of it feels forced and unfinished. CD Projekt Red, please, stick with Witcher. And I'm warning you right now, do not experiment with Witcher 4 by adding a new protagonist. No one wants to play Doom without Doomslayer. No one wants to play Mass Effect without Commander Shepard. No one wants to play God of War without Kratos. Tomb Raider without Lara Croft. And be sure about one thing too. No one wants to play Witcher 4 without Geralt. You do it without him, the best freaking main protagonist in the history of gaming, by the way. You done fuck it up straight. Heed my warning, please heed my warning, and good luck on your next project.